Well, it seems like it's finally time. We have to make Shin a top tier. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do been to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, yes, I know. Yes, I know Uzuki doesn't have control over when Takamura comes out. Yes, I know it's just Bloodlust in general. Yes, I know. Okay, and? Couldn't beat Shin in base. Couldn't beat fatigued, brain damage, Shin in base. Oh, but he was dominating him the chapter. He didn't tag him once last chapter. Full 20 pages of chapter. Didn't tag base, mentally fatigued Shin once. Once. Beisuki's fodder. He's buns. That's my issue. My apologies, I didn't make that clear enough. It's okay that he has to. I get it. It's his gimmick. That's boring, though. That's the fact that we had to put it to this point. That regular, fresh Uzuki could not take down base, mentally fatigued Shin is embarrassing. I'll go with it. I mentioned it last video. Headcanon and all you want that Shin was using his super Tenkyu mode to keep up. The one that he went to against Tenkyu where he was like blitzing Tenkyu and using those crazy next level attacks. Sure, we can do that. That's fine. That makes it more reasonable, I guess. But it's just sad, alright? I just want base Uzuki to be more of a threat. What can I say? I love Takamura. I love ore farming Takamura. Like, y'all. You know how many times I just be hitting this pose for no reason? It's all because of Takamura. It is all because of Takamura. I'm half tempted to learn how to use a katana just because of Takamura. Trust me, I love Takamura. But that's not Takamura. That's a bomb. That's a bomb. Who can't take down a fatigued high tier, low top tier in base? And now the thing is, we're in trouble. And by we're in trouble, I mean base Zuki's in even more trouble. If Shin somehow manages to survive this, then Takamura stocks are going down. And it's not really because Uzuki more stocks are going down. And he's our main villain, y'all. So Shin better be saved. We got 22 pages to get through. I promise you. He better cook. And by cook, I mean cook Shin. Shin better not cook. Or else but the thing is, nothing can happen to Shin. And you know what? I saw Screw made another video. And I don't know, Screw has been definitely influencing my Sakamoto stakes a whole lot. But he made a video called Sakamoto Days Has No Stakes. And I almost want to bang my head against the wall. Because I was like, oh no. I have to watch the video. I can't agree with that. Because nothing's going to happen to Shin. He's not even going to take lethal damage. He's going to escape this somehow. If they couldn't do lethal damage to Shishiba, Osaragi, Kamiate, you really think Uzuki Mura, even though he should blitz, violate, and one-shot Shin? Remember, okay, Nagamo was a bit fatigued. And that's the thing, right? Takamura truly isn't that much higher than everyone in the verse. I'll be real. He was fighting up against a semi-fatigued Sakamoto, a heavily fatigued Nagamo who had taken a bunch of damage in the Gaku fight, who was, and notably, Takamura kind of got a free hit because he was worried about Rion and Uzuki. And then, Uzuki had a hole in his lung. And then a fatigued Haruma and a fatigued Gaku. So, yeah, there is a whole bunch of context. So Takamura isn't actually, leagues and leagues and leagues above. But this is fatigued base Shin he's up against. And one thing I'll give to the Uzuki men. Yes, it is true. Just because Uzuki didn't really tag Shin at all last chapter, it doesn't mean that Shin really did any damage to Uzuki. Uzuki did put the pause on him in the chapter beforehand, and didn't really get tagged by Shin even once. So, that is also true. So big Uzuki, it's not that he's fodder. Right? I think it's just that I really want more from him as the individual, not so much the other personalities. As much as I like Uzuki Mura, I don't... It loses its luster. You know? It's kind of like... I love ice cream. I love it. One of my favorite desserts. Not my favorite, admittedly, but one of my favorite desserts. Just like I love Takamura, and I love Uzuki Mura as a concept. But if every single fight he goes into, one way or another, Bloodlust has to appear in the area so Uzuki Mura can come out, so he can actually be a relevant terror or threat, that's kind of, it just loses, it's like having ice cream every day, for every meal. As a dessert. It's yeah, I'll still enjoy it. And that's the thing, I'm not mad that Uzuki Mura's here. It's fine. It's just not it's not hitting the same. The reason Takamura hit so well is because he would appear caused everyone to run for their lives in terror, and then disappear for like 50 to 100 chapters at the time. We saw Takamura, like 4 times total before the museum arc? We saw him get loosely introduced in the car with everybody, and everyone was scared of him, and they all had to duck from his sword swing when he attacked the fly. We saw him again versus Gaku, when Gaku had to literally run for his life. And then Uzuki was like, no, we gotta run for our lives here. Even though he was purely fresh and could have easily fought if he really wanted to, but he ran. Then he disappeared for a fat swath. Well, actually, no. Because he showed up, because there was in the car, the Slice of Tokyo Tower, and the fight versus Gaku are all in a relatively short span. Then he vanished for a large chunk of the narrative, reappeared during the museum arc, and went absolutely bonkers. Now, we've had Uzukimura like almost every time we see Uzuki. And we've seen Uzuki a lot, no duh, because he's the main villain. So like, the luster of a character of this power gets lost when he's being spammed constantly. And when you're putting him up against characters who literally cannot die for the sake of the plot, I'm assuming the only way he gets out of this is someone saving him. But I said the same thing last chapter when he was up against Beisuki. So who knows? Maybe Shin will just prove himself a top tier in the intro by just bodybagging or somehow surviving Uzukimura. I don't know. Let's just keep knocking Uzukimura down, I guess. Let's see. Let's always. Sorry, I've been, because I saw a bunch of people being like, "You must be wrong. You just can't read." I'm like, yeah, I can't. All right, I'm illiterate. Huh? But you gotta see what I'm seeing, at least in some sense. Do you like the fact that Beisuki is so fodder he has to consistently go into Uzukimura against every single person he's fought and hasn't caught a singular, like, relevant body as Uzukimura, even though it should be the strongest character in the verse? Do you like that? Is that good writing to you? I don't know. Let's see. Chapter 215, Sea of Corpses. Ugh. I don't know how long I can last against Mr. Takamura, but I have no choice. If I can slow him down just a little bit, please get blitzed. Please get blitzed and get slashed. Please, for Uzukimura Skelly, please! Let's see. Interesting goes for an overhead swing, a 2-handed overhead swing. Okay. So he is doing this. He is doing this. All right. That's fine though. He was able to do it pretty well against Uzukimura. So okay. So no matter what, whatever Shin's eyes go like this is him looking into the future, which I believe is what he was doing against. Thank you. It's the highest level state he can manage. I'm shocked he can do that after supposedly being heavily brain, or like having, like, he was really bleeding from his nose. He had brain damage not 2 seconds ago, but doesn't matter. Like nerfs don't matter until they do. So like, despite Shin literally stating not 2 chapters ago he couldn't really move his body, and that this state was extremely mentally taxing on him, and the fact that he already burnt a bunch of ESP ability when disabling a bunch of the guns. Yeah, sure, Shin can just look into the future. That's fine, though. Once again, I'm fine with this, because he's just running, right? Like, when he went into this state against Tenkyu, he blitzed and bodybagged him. But in this case, he can't really do anything to Uzukimura. He's just forced to run. So that's fine. So this means at least now, while even somewhat fatigued, or really more than somewhat, but still, while fatigued, looking into the future, Shin cannot get hit by it. Well, we'll see how the chapter goes, but he literally can't get hit by anyone in the verse. Unless maybe Kendaka, if you think Kendaka is faster than Takamura, but even then that's kind of debatable. But that's kind of crazy. Shin does, at least in this state, have god tier reaction and combat speed to some degree, or at least reaction and body movement, which is kind of crazy. But let's see. I can't believe Mr. Nakamoto and Mr. Sakamoto fought against this beast without ESP. I mean, that is true, but like, fought in heavy quotations. Did they tag him once? Sakamoto did tag him, but like, he didn't do any damage. they didn't actually damage Uzukimura or base Takamura at all. Let's see. This beast without ESP. Only person who did that was Gaku, actually. Let's see. Oh, and obviously, Uzukimura himself. Let's see. If I lose focus for a split second, it'll be instant death. Okay, good. He at least got tagged. All right. We can work with it. We can work with this. Let's see. If I lose focus for a split second, it'll be instant death. I do like the detail, though, that he has to, usually he's fine with his hair being down like this, but because he needs to use, he has to have 100% visual acuity, he has to move his hair back and be like, I have to look at him. I cannot take my eyes off him for a second. But then Uzukimura is still fast enough to lunge in and slash at him anyway, and Shin just barely dodges. My ear, it's still there. That has got to be horrifying. But once again, I get it. He doesn't want the people to get violated by Uzukimura. But then again, it's hard to tell how much like the people would even be able to like activate Uzukimura. But I don't blame Shin. Once again, In this case, it goes back to the whole idea in the museum arc. The reason they kept fighting is because they probably just didn't think they could escape. And turning their back to Takamura probably just wasn't the best idea. Let's see. My ear, it's still there. Yikes, he's gonna slaughter me. Gotta retreat for now. But you know what? I was about to be like, how? How's he escaping Uzukimura who wants his cheeks? But look, running is working. So maybe he turned his back to him. See, that's the thing. I don't know, man. I love Sakamotodays' action. But there are moments like this where I try to read into something and then just immediately gets contradicted. Like, I thought Shin had to move his hair up here so he could look directly at Uzukimura and never take his eyes off him and essentially have to keep backdashing away from him. But now, Uzukimura lands a slash, he aggroes, then immediately de-aggroes, I guess, because he doesn't try to blitz Shin again. And then Shin's able to turn his back to Uzukimura with no consequences. And maybe I'm just looking. Maybe I'm just taking it too deep. Maybe I'm just reading it too deep. Let's see. What do you mean I'm going through the verse and this with high tier, low top tier, able to react to my attacks? What's happening? Let's see. I just need to get away for now. Huh? I'm in the SEAL tank. Is he a caretaker? Very impressive, like, lung capacity these characters have. That is actually just like a normal thing. Like, all the superhuman characters have extreme lung capacity. But that is also cool. I would never want to be like an aquarium like person who has to go into the tanks. Even if it's like with a non-lethal, I don't know. I love to swim, but I don't actually like swimming around fish. But that was a cool job. That was a cool job. Let's see. Ooh. But see, like, but I guess it makes sense. We never really saw Takamura fight underwater, so maybe he just doesn't have a preference for it. But see, he's up here. I guess he just went down the stairs organically, and then met Shin down here, and then he goes to slash him. But Shin does dodge. Once again, though, he has his eyes up, so he is seeing the future. But darn, man. All right. Slashes. Oh, interesting. It doesn't even look like he went for a slash here. It looks like Uzukimura specifically went to plunge the katana directly into Shin's forehead. But Shin does barely manage to dodge. Ooh, and the kids dodge, too. Well, then again, you know, the kids didn't really have to dodge. Uzukimura went for the gap between them. Let's see. Washing out all the water. Ah! Hey now, dude, you made the kid cry. I get Sakamoto's characters that are not named and background characters are just straight idiots. But if I saw a guy punch through reinforced aquarium glass, the last thing I'm doing is critiquing it. I'm vacating the premises. Incidentally, why? Why? I'm not engaging with that man. Like for what? Like, I don't know. I'm the kind of person who assumes 9 out of 10 times that anyone is dangerous because I live by a philosophy. Okay, that's a separate philosophy. But I live by a philosophy on top of my initial philosophy. All humans are relative. Eddie Hall, or whoever the strongest man on the planet is currently, darn dangerous, unbelievable, unstoppable. You take a regular adult man, have them punch Eddie Hall in the face, and he'll feel it. He'll feel it. You take a bantamweight boxer and put him against Eddie Hall, have him punch him in the face, he'll feel it. He'll feel it. There is no, like, we as humans simply do not have the ability to just Dura-tank something. Sure, like, babies can't harm us, but the average full-grown man can harm the above-average full-grown man. So I live by a philosophy that no matter who they are, no matter what size they are, if they're a full-grown adult, and even, hey, kids are getting crazy these days too, if they are another sentient human being, there's a possibility they could harm me lethally. That's what I live by. So if I ever saw something like this, if I saw a guy posted up, katana at the ready, and he stabbed through, I'm like, oh, bye. And I'm not even waving, I'm gone. In the immediate next instant, bro. So, not the brightest characters talking about today's background cast, but you know, you gotta have some idiots but to have stakes. Let's see. Did they release Bloodlust? Then again, you know, I don't blame the kid. I'd be terrified too if a guy stabbed a katana next to my head. Let's see. Yikes! Uzukimura's like, you do realize I'm top 1 in the verse right now, right? Let's see. Okay. But see, like, I don't even like. Oh, dude, I think I'm okay. Okay, maybe I need to. Maybe I'm being too mean. Tell me in the comments if I'm being too mean. Maybe I'm being too mean. Who released Bloodlust here? Why does this? Because, like, notably, we saw Takamura doesn't necessarily care about the people he's not fighting. He's not the kind of assassin who will, like, go out of his way to attack indiscriminately. Like, he's not gonna randomly just walk up to somebody and just boom them. You do have to be like, have some sort of negativity to you. And you know, maybe this is just that. Maybe this is just like, you know, him being annoyed that he was being spoken to. But I feel like regular Takamura, who clearly would recognize that he didn't actually get Shin here. Regular Takamura would not need to be like re-aggroed like this. Right? Like he would have just kept fighting. I don't know, man. Like Uzukimura feels weird. Like and obviously once again, it's because we can't boom Shin. But at the same time, it like the mysticism and power of Takamura and like the stability of the character as it lives on in Uzuki just feels less and less and less and less and less. And that happens, right? Like I think of Escanor from Sentinel Sins, for example, where unfortunately that man just got power crept. Like he started off as seemingly the strongest and he had a real good run. But, you know, power creep happens. And then characters just surpassed him. Or characters were introduced that surpassed him. But for Uzukimura, man, like, dog, he got to be top one in the verse for 5 minutes. And he still is. It just doesn't, he doesn't feel as top one in the verse, if that makes sense, right? Like, he's number one, but the gap doesn't feel as large as it should, I feel. Let's see. Your enemy's over here, jerk. I do like this one. This is some quality aura farming by Shin, though. The Bloodlust here is portrayed by the dark face and the darkness surrounding him, and that triggering Uzukimura. I like that. You think I'm blind? Let's see. Goes around, swings. Let's see. Shin dodges. His eyes are base here, but I assume he's going to immediately read the future. Oh. Okay. Interesting. He didn't even respond to... So shit, but you know what? Once again, we're huffing straight juicy copium. Shin's Bloodlust wasn't strong enough to overpower this guy's Bloodlust. And on top of that, Uzuki did blitz him here, right? Like unless I'm mistaken, Shin didn't even dodge. He didn't even move. He wasn't looking to the future enough. He had his base regular black eyes here. So Uzukimura did actually manage to seemingly perception blitz Shin here a little bit. Because, I mean, you could argue this is a little bit of movement, but it's clear here, if Uzuki had swung just a little bit lower and taken off Shin's head, he would die here. So, like, cinema, we'll take it. Once again, I just want the presentation to be consistent. That's my one thing. If you're gonna have Uzukimura be this ungodly, unstoppable, insane top tier, let it be that. Let it be that. Of course, you're not gonna boom any of your major characters, so they're gonna have to escape somehow. But if you're gonna contrive it like this. Have these idiots show up and have their Bloodlust, considering the Bloodlust is indiscriminate. It doesn't really matter who you are, as long as you release Bloodlust, he's gonna give you back shots. Have that be the case. Let these idiots not realize that, because they never had any interaction with top. Why it just hit me that this man started speaking with his head lopped off? Bruh. That's a big behind sentence to get out while you got no access to your lungs, my boy. Let's see. Huh? Who are you? But I was just trying to support you, Master X. No! Go! Hey, we came here to help you because we heard you were fighting Master X. Wait, what? Wait, what? We came here to help because we heard you were fighting Master... Oh, okay. I didn't see the comment there. I was like, wait. Here to help Shin? But I guess they wouldn't know any better. Ain't that sad, though? Some random nameless background fodder had to show up to go help Beisuki because they're like, oh, he clearly can't take care of Shin. I'm just being way too mean to Beisuki. I know. And you know what? In fact, let me turn the power scaler down. Let me turn the character up. So let me do this, and let me do this. Uzuki as a character is still interesting, even if inconsistent. I think the inconsistency is intentional, right? Like, I think Uzuki being a hypocrite and just being wrong is the point. Even if he thinks he's doing everything right, even if he believes that this is his due comeuppance to getting back at the world for abusing the assassins as they did, even if, like, his world is fundamentally wrong, and I think on some level he knows that, as he mentions, and he, like, truly misrepresents everything Rion would have wanted, and goes directly against what the eldest Sakao that we know of would have desired in a world that is being reshaped. That's the point. Like he's meant to be a hypocrite. And I think one of the main, like, honestly, that's one of the main questions. Will Uzuki actually die by the end of the narrative? I don't think so. Like that's the thing. Unless Nagamo, or Hindaka, or Yotsumura kill him, Sakamoto's not going to kill him. Shin's not going to kill him. That's the whole point of those two characters. They don't kill. So, like, The big point, I think, will be getting Uzuki to see the contradictions and the flaws in his belief system. Maybe he'll boom himself, but other than that, I don't actually see Uzuki dying in narrative. It just doesn't, like, would I be fine with it if it did happen? Yeah, I'd be fine with it. But, like, it would have to be by a character who's not our main titular character or a deuteragonist. Because, like, it just wouldn't make sense for either of those characters. Especially just, well, obviously it's not going to happen anytime soon. But especially after the whole, like, Shin flashback arc, like, the whole point is that Shin doesn't kill. Just like Sakamoto doesn't kill. Just like everyone in Sakamoto's crew doesn't kill. So, like, but at the same time, it would feel really, unless it's Nagamo specifically. Nagamo could work as a person to kill Uzuki. Because he still does have direct ties. He's kind of like our secondary deuteragonist. If anything, this is going to sound great. If the typical story has a main character, a deuteragonist, and a female lead, Nagamo's kind of the female lead role in terms of like just relative narrative importance and stuff like that. So it would make sense for Nagamo to do it and would still have like the appropriate narrative and character weight, I'd say. That's the one. I'll give that. That could work. That could work overall. Let's see. And the reason I say all that, I think I'm a little too focused on power scaling, right? Like, and I think Suzuki Sensei even came out and admitted it once, right? Like, they just have a bunch of ideas that they want to draw for cool action scenes and fights, right? And like, as a person who does appreciate the character writing of Sakamotodays, I think it's fine if the power scaling isn't as solid or as consistent, especially considering you can just argue I'm not looking at it deep enough, right? Like I mentioned, a prime, fresh Takamura wasn't fighting against anyone who was truly 100% fresh. Nagamo had gone through an intense battle with Gaku, heavily damaged. Uzuki had a hole in his lung, heavily damaged. Haruma was heavily fatigued in the fight with Shin. He literally collapsed afterwards, nearly, or at least nearly collapsed. He had to sit down. And Gaku, heavily fatigued, collapse, sit down. And Takamura was still able to take damage from those heavily fatigued characters. Right? So, like it's not even too absurd. Takamura seemed unbelievably powerful because he was fighting a retired, washed-up bum and then 3, if not 4 top tiers who were heavily fatigued in one way or another. So, wow. Number 1 in the verse can take on multiple fatigued top tiers. Ooh. And obviously Shin, who took on either high tier or low top tier with his future reading ability, being able to barely survive that also just makes sense. So, like, the power scaling isn't even that bad. I think I just had Uzukimura and by proxy Takamura up too high. I think I just glazed them to the moon and beyond, when realistically he's a lot closer to the rest of the cast. It's not like a Gojo and Sukuna type thing, where at full power everyone is just infinitely beneath them and couldn't dream of defeating them. Like, Takamura's number 1 in the verse, but at this point, there isn't even like if I were to do a Sakamoto's tier list now, as I'm forcefully altering my perspective, turning the scaler down, turning the character up, and turning the narrative up a little bit. Let's turn the narrative up a little bit. I think I wouldn't even make a god tier, right? Like before I would have put Uzukimura and then Takamura up in there, but not really. Presumably, if all 5 of the characters included in the initial Takamura fight were at full health, they would have beaten them. Probably. If Gaku was able to do what he did to Takamura, completely disregarding the Uzukimura evolution and birth, they probably would have beat him. A completely fresh Sakamoto, a completely fresh Nagabo who's not mentally distracted, a completely fresh, either Ryo Uzuki or base Uzuki, a completely fresh Haruma. Like, sure, Takamura blitzed them, but once again, they're heavily damaged and heavily fatigued. So, like, it makes more sense than I'm giving credit for it, and I'm being a bit too mean. Even if I still don't like that base Suzuki isn't too much of a threat, or at least he doesn't feel like too much of a threat because he can't do anything on his own. Like, it's either always Ryon or it's always Takamura. That's fine. It's his ability. What do I expect? Do I expect the main villain to not use his ability? No. So it does make sense. So I'm softening. Well, you're watching character development live on camera. Let's see. Came here to help you because we heard you were fighting, Master X. He's reacting to their bloodlust. Keep away unless you want to die. You're gonna get it, you punk. Okay. Just as I was softened, just as I was starting to soften, the hard, evil, mean hater man is coming out again. I know Sakamotodays is silly. It's silly in the brutal, like, gruesome horror kind of way. And like, clearly I'm laughing, right? So like, it's working. But how to drain any serious out of situation 101? Why? And like, what was this a thing? All right, hold on. First things first. Maybe may, you know, they do say, right, once you're decapitated, there is like actually a little bit of like brain power left in you. The body doesn't immediately perish, and that's why decapitation kind of sucks, because you live like the last couple seconds of your life in absolute agony. But first, not only did this man get out the fullest, longest sentence of oblivion, doom, and despair, well after being decapitated, right, but also, he's able to say guys on the ground as a head. Really? Oh, okay. All right, fine. We'll give that. You mean to tell me, Mr. Number One in the verse, the main villain, the god tier, even though I just said there are no more god tiers, the highest of the high tiers, the top of the top tiers, right? In this super serious moment where a Durag's life is at stake, and he's going to go on a massive slaughtering spree because a bunch of idiots just showed up to sacrifice their lives, he really lined up his shot, lined up his swing, reeled back, and like, once again, it's to go back to what Megamind once said, it's all about presentation, all right? like how am I supposed to take this guy serious? Like clearly, like that's it. Oh, it's hard, man. It's like, and I'm not saying that your main top of the line villain has to be super serious and not silly, right? But I think once again, it's what you do with a character and making it consistent, right? So for example, Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen is an innately pretty silly guy. That's an established part of his character, right? For a while, basically from his introduction, he's a pretty weird, pretty silly kind of guy. So when there are moments later on when he's fighting where he does silly, dumb, stupid things, it's actually in character. It makes perfect sense. This just I mean, this is a cool layer to Takamura's character. I guess Uzuki knew because he like straight slurped up Takamura. When did Takamura get into golfing? When did he do that? Like, it rips me straight out. Like this, it's frying me, and not in the good way. Like, why? I mean, it's an interesting visual, seeing the head be used as a projectile, and it goes through so hard it literally splits a guy in half. Like that's very crazy. It reminds me of like Tenki with his arrows. Like, if you'll remember when the one guard back in the prison arc literally got like super bisected by the arrowhead going through him. It's like a more meaty head-based version of that. So it is a cool visual. It just doesn't feel Takamura, right? It feels out of character. It feels out of character for Uzuki. It's like, I don't see either of those characters, even Rion. I don't see any of the three characters that are in here doing this. I think that's it. But you know what? We'll chalk this up. We'll add it to the new layer. Once again, we're gonna have to turn the character up even more. The scaling is fine, so we'll leave the scaling where it's at. And we're gonna turn the story seriousness down just a little bit. So up the character, turn the series down. I guess it's just a new side of Takamura. He was a golfer in the past life. All right, Sergio! You all are next. The chapter's literally called what? Sea of Bodies? Sea of Corpses. Yeah, so you're all cooked. Let's see. What did he even do? Did he smack one in half? Like, what is this? Did he swing his arm and smack another guy in half? Yikes! Oh! Run, everyone! What now? To try hijacking his thoughts to stop him? Won't work on a monster like him? Don't use it now. Like unfortunately, these guys, they all came to that. Like, it's right. I know you want to shave those people's lives, Shin, even though they're coming to give you back shots. But you do not want to waste your one use right now. Shin, as long as you continue to only have one use, who knows? Shin, with how many buffs he's been getting recently, we may find out that as long as he changes his wiring, mental capacity pathing, and gives his ESP one more boost, like, he'll be able to do it as many times as he wants. But like, burning it, you still like see, like, it just doesn't. It doesn't hit. Maybe I don't know what am I expecting from Mizukimura? I guess that's the thing. Maybe it's like an expectation versus execution thing. What am I expecting from Mizukimura? It's like, will it work on a monster like him? If I fail, it's all over. Even if I froze him for a split second, I'd never be able to finish him off alone. Okay, so presumably other characters are gonna show up. But like, am I supposed to take this seriously? Like, Shin has a head going, yikes! As the other guy who was ahead looks at him like, Like where's the weight? Where's the heft? Where's the fact that we're like, our deuteragonist is 1v1 the main? Like, don't get me wrong, There's always, especially when I'm reading Shonen Jump, naturally, there's always the meta-narrative idea. There's the when I rip myself out of the narrative, and I remind myself, hey, I'm not actually involved in this fiction. I believe Stollinger, is it Stollinger? Or is it Andrew Cunningham? It may be Andrew Cunningham who did it. Which one is that? The idea of, well, no, it's Andrew Cunningham. I've literally watched all of Stollinger's videos and all of Andrew Cunningham's videos on loop, like, and mixed them, so that now my brain is linking. Actually, I haven't watched either of them in a while. King Boy G just dropped a recent Bellsword video. But, with that being the case, what my point here is, there's always the meta-narrative level where, like, you as a reader, reading a Shonen Jump manga, know the Deuteragonist isn't going to die, right? They're not going to take lethal damage. They're not even going to really be removed from the plot for that long. That's not going to happen. Just by the nature of the type of series you're reading. But, I think it still is the author's job, especially when dealing with what is presumably our main villain and our final villain, to make those stakes, even if they aren't real in the meta-narrative sense, feel real in the narrative sense. And the way you do that is through presentation. How you show the main villain, how they act, and how their dominance is displayed. And how serious that is. This, like, it doesn't feel like it should. Like, someone on the last video, very recently, in fact, I forgot to respond to the comment, but I remember saw it. Someone said this chapter, they said chapter 214 felt like filler. And I like, and obviously it's a manga chapter, so it can't be filler, right? And every bit of the manga is canon. But, like, I see what they mean about that one, and I see what they mean kind of about this. Like, nothing's gonna happen from this. Nothing, like, no, there's going to be no narrative progression. Other than Uzuki wearing down his own numbers, which won't matter, because they're random background fodder characters, and there are always going to be more. There's always going to be more random background assassins to be slaughtered. But, like, nothing is going to happen. Unless they just figure out some weakness of Uzukimura here. That may be a narrative progression that'll come later. But, like Shin's gonna live. He's gonna escape. No one major's gonna die. No one named is gonna die. And then they're just gonna escape again, just like with Shishiba Osora and Kamehate. Like, nothing's happening. Like, I think that's the issue. Nothing's happening. I'm not even like, the narrative in Suzuki Sensei isn't even pretending like something's gonna happen here. Like, oh no, look at Shin, the head of the spot. I don't know, man. Let's see. Oh, interesting. If I just had some support, I hope they're okay. Yeah, we never saw what happened to these guys, but they're probably fine. Like, what? You have the fastest assassin in history. You have my glorious legend, Juicy's coming up to King Boiled. You have the second best sniper in the verse, and he's fine. Like he has these three, so they're fine. Once again, you're fighting the main guy. Unless we cut and we see that Kanaguri and Kumanomi and the rest of the Order found them as well. It seems like Uzukimura just came here and destroyed his main communications tower with a fighter jet for reasons. Just stop Shin, but reasons. Let's see. I can't wimp out now. Gotta think of something. But like Shin, leave. Like as you are now, just go. Like, you don't need to think of anything. Just go away. You running, like, you're doing what I wished. You're actually already doing what I kind of wished Sakamoto, Nagamo, Haruma, Gaku, and Sakamoto did. Like, you can just run. They're not going to turn their bloodlust off because they're idiots. Just escape the aquarium. Look at more, like, he's not going to be able to find you, buddy. Like, it's supposed to be, you're not directing bloodlust at him. Let's see. Gotta think of something. Huh? Ah, see, I did that. See, of course. Oh, see, whale sharks. Whale sharks are huge, but they're in aquariums. I always found that amazing. I don't know why. I guess because they're whales, not sharks, even though they're whale sharks. But like, they don't have the great white syndrome where like they'll just like give up eventually and die. Like at least from what I heard, that's what happens when all sharks go into captivity, or not all sharks. At least great whites, they'll like swim around a little bit and like just turn over and die. Like, they just hate the idea of captivity that much. It's innately instinctual for them to either be free or give up on living. But whale sharks, they're actually kind of chill. I remember seeing whale sharks in an aquarium. Let's see. All these, but like, look at all these bodies, bro. None of these matter. Like, who cares? Random background fodder. Let's see. I do like this. This is a cool visual. This is thumbnail material. The blood filling the water and the many bodies falling in there. And notably, I like how the animals aren't even engaging with them. They're just like, wasn't our kill. Not worth it. Let's see. And see, like, that's cool. See, there we go. It's the thing. If you cut, I don't know how you would. Cut out these two pages. Cut out these 2 pages of like the silliness, and keep that like claustrophobic, locked in a dark room, locked in a tight confined space environment with the main villain feeling. This is aura. This right here is aura. We got this. This is how you present your Deuteragonist locked in a small box with your main villain, make me feel like, oh no, they could actually die at any time. There it is. So like that's the thing. Suzuki said I can do it. It's so wishy-washy, man. Let's see. But once again, Shin's gonna dodge this. He has his eyes up. He's seeing the future right now. Let's see. Oh, and I like that too. I like the water being tainted by all the blood in it, and it comes out in this dark, inky black pool, and then we see Uzukimura soaked in blood, and then Shin genuinely terrified. So let's see who's gonna come and save him, or is he gonna get out of here himself? Let's see. Keep your cool. Oh, the cut on Shin's already gone. But I think Shin knows that prior. Like the cut on Shin didn't really matter. Let's see. Keep your cool and freeze him with ESP. But if Mr. Sakamoto senses bloodlust from me, if his sword moves faster than my ESP, I'm dead. Eek! Once again, this is I do love like the ability for an artist to be like, hey, I don't typically draw my characters in this one art style. Boom! It just like hits you with a completely different one. These are not like Sakamotodays characters. This isn't like this. You show me this panel, like just square out this image out of context, and tell me what manga is this from. I would not say Sakamotodays. Even with like the proverbial sea of blood here, I would not say Sakamotodays. I don't know what manga I would say, but it's like this isn't Sakamotodays art style. But once again, that just goes to show how flexible Sugi is as an artist. Let's see, bystanders who didn't get out. Ugh. It's okay. I've got to delay him, at least until Mr. Sakamoto shows up. He'll get well. No, he can't even fight right now. At least until Mr. Sakamoto shows up. I've got to create a brief opening and strike him with everything I've got. Uzukimura's like, I may not be a god tier anymore. Pencil may have downgraded me, but I still am top of the top one. You're just a low high tier, my boy. Don't think you're built for this. Let's see. Or no, a low top tier. Free! Yeah, okay. We'll see. We'll see. That is a really cool image, though. Him getting the... Let's see. I want to believe it. I really do. But once again, you don't have the nerve. It's like, I'm sorry, man. You don't have the nerve. All right, interesting though. Freeze! But why do you say it out loud? So I'm assuming this is like a super fake out, because one, he doesn't say the commands out loud. He yells them loudly in his head, and then they activate. And once again, why is he, man, like, that's the thing. He has this really cool visual of being soaked in blood, and then he loses it. Same with, oh, well, no, Sin's damage sometimes sticks. It really depends if Suzuki Sensei feels like drawing him. I really wish he still had, like, the soaked in blood appearance. Interesting that his pupils and eyes are back, though. But, so, like, cool way to end off the chapter. Suzuki Sensei, we went through a journey throughout this review. By we, I mean we. So, like, we went through a journey throughout this review. I don't know. I'm still going to say, I'm going to give the chapter this. I don't give it worthiness. Does it feel a little teeny tiny bit wacky that Shin was able to last this long and all alone with Uzukimura? Yes! But Shin is just the top tier. Like I think you keep hearing me say, high tier, high tier, high tier, high tier. I think I'm locked in the past, alright? Shin has been buffed through the moon this last arc. No Atari training, by the way. This man is no ESP training for Atari. Once again, I'm not even sure what the point of that character is now. Like without buff, Shin has got without her. I'm like, what it actually was, I guess she was just a catalyst for the prison arc, so Shin could get stronger. She didn't actually have to teach him anything. So, like, wondering what Atari's point of the narrative is going to be. But, with that being the case, all that aside, Shin is just the top tier at this point. There's no other way to put it. With the feats he displays in this chapter, the ability to consistently, through reading the future, not just maintain the reading the future state for so long that he's able to survive Uzuki in this way, but also consistently react to and dodge Uzukimura. Uzukimura only tags Shin until the end of the chapter, or supposedly Shin gets his head cut off. Oh no, I wonder if that's actually going to happen. Yeah, come on. But, with it being the case, until the end, Uzukimura only tagged Shin once. And it was a bare minimum tag. He whiffs multiple attacks here. Once again, this implies that he swung 1, 2, 3, 4 times. He whiffs 4 attacks, but Shin is reading the future. And then he barely tags Shin's face, but it's so shallow a cut that Shin's skin basically instantly closes and it doesn't even show up again for the rest of the chapter. And then Shin manages to run away and escape, and once again, backwards inverse dodge Uzukimura cracking through the glass. So Shin is just a top tier. He may be a mid-tier top tier at this point. Because there are a few other characters I would think would be able to consistently dodge and avoid Uzukimura as Shin has. But hey, Future Sight Shin just being a top tier and Uzukimoto not being as far above the verse as I thought. Now that I've moved one up and moved one down, now it's making enough sense that I don't really have an issue with the scaling of it all. It does mean though that like Future Sight Shin should just violate Base Suzuki, right? Like if he's able to do this much defensively, he should be able to do something more decent offensively. So, unfortunately, Base Suzuki downscale. Base Suzuki, like at this point, I hate to say it, Base Suzuki exists as the character. He's not really a combatant. He's just not. With the early fights of Suzuki being recontextualized as Rion, or at least being later revealed to be Rion, with the fight against Sakamoto only ending when he becomes Uzukimura, and every single fight, Uzuki barely damaging his opponent and or not being able to damage them at all, and then needing Uzukimura to come out to actually do anything to them. Base Suzuki isn't a power scaling character. He's not a character who's going to do any fighting, or at least any relevant fighting. For Uzuki to be a threat, he has to be Uzukimura at this point. Well, that is unfortunate. We can work with that. That's what his ability is. I'm not going to fault the author for making his main villain use the character's ability under any circumstance. Noda, the main villain, has to use their main ability, even if it does technically undermine the power scaling of their main villain. That's fine. That's fine. And once again, the power scaling got closed in my head mentally, I can make more sense of it. The only issue, it's a bifold issue really, because of the inconsistent like tone and the silliness of it. Sometimes it's hard to buy heavily into the stakes of Gotomoto days. And obviously, meta-narrative stuff, you don't think Shin's actually going to die. And I really... Oh, well, never mind. Here, look, the cut did show up again. But, there we go. So overall, still, me and for the 2 time, a W chapter. If you've been all the way to the end of this video, please leave... Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. And it's in reference to freeze! But I'd like to thank you so much for watching. So remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you even have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions, so this is time to review, add variations of all my videos. If you become a $2 Patreon or a $2 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, you have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below, where you can drop 5 views for a short video, 29 views on video, or any views at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Ura, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis97, Zachary Wilson, Azo2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, and G Prosper. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dread Zoen, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, A. Uchiha, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And I think the final Giga Super Gargantuan Legendary Ultimate and even further beyond thank you to our ultimate tier, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.